What is going on, guys? We always applaud athletes who know when it's time to retire. The likes of Peyton Manning, Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, Favre and Terrell Owens called it quits when it was clear they didn't have much left in the tank. But some of the top athletes of the 21st century surprisingly retired when they were still capable of putting up big numbers. Even though us fans need to be happy for an athlete when they retire, we naturally question why they would leave the game when they still have so much more to give. I'm Biondo, and today we present 7 athletes who could come out of retirement and still be productive. Number 7, Henrik Zetterberg. Former Detroit Red Wings captain Henrik Zetterberg reluctantly announced his retirement after the 2017-18 season due to nagging back injuries. It was obviously a sad way for the former All-Star to go out. But Zetterberg ultimately decided that he had to put his long-term health first, which is good. You really can't blame him for that. But even though he wasn't performing at a true all-star level, Zetterberg remained a key cog in Detroit's offense in his swan song 2017-18 season. Zetterberg notched 56 points in 82 games, which placed him second on team scoring behind only Dylan Larkin. And the year before that, Zetterberg had 17 goals and 68 points, the most he had posted in 5 years. Number 40 also owned solid puck possession numbers and continued to dictate play on the ice. Even in a reduced role, Zetterberg was performing nicely with the Red Wings. Maybe a year or two off is all Zetterberg will have needed to recover. If he decided to come back and play, maybe Zetterberg would still be a 50 to 60 point guy on the Red Wings. His production was always steady in the Motor City. And as the team continues to add more young talent, the future continues to look brighter. Maybe that would inspire Zetterberg to return for another season. Oh, and the 2008 Stanley Cup champion and Conn Smythe Trophy winner retired with 960 points. I mean, he could be motivated to come back and get 40 more or so. He could crack the 1,000 point mark. That would hopefully strengthen his chances of reaching the Hockey Hall of Fame. Zetterberg is just something to think about, but we don't blame you if you decide to stay retired. Number 6, Carlos Beltran. The 9-time All-Star was a serviceable player for the Houston Astros in his 2017 age 40 season. The Astros won the World Series that year, and Beltran opted to retire as a champion after the season. You can't blame him for wanting to go out on a high note, but if the Astros didn't win it, you can't help but wonder if Beltran would have opted to keep playing. That being said, the Astros did cheat, but you know, whatever. Beltran batted .231 with 14 homers and 51 RBIs. The year prior, split with the New York Yankees and Texas Rangers, Beltran posted a 2.0 wins above replacement. He hit .295 with 29 homers and 93 RBIs. Beltran obviously felt as though he had nothing else to prove when he retired. He wasn't quite an everyday player on the stacked Astros team, but again, they cheated, taking a reduced role behind all their young stars. No doubt the Astros would love to have Beltran back as they try to become a dynasty. Otherwise, nobody will fault Beltran for opting to stay retired with 2,725 career hits, as well as 435 home runs, 1,587 RBIs, and a .279 batting average. But we really think the man has plenty more baseball left in him. I don't know. Number 5, Dwyane Wade. It was nice to see Dwyane Wade play in South Beach for his final season for the Miami Heat in 2018-19. The perennial All-Star and 3-time NBA champion kept on fighting off Father Time, despite being hampered by knee injuries throughout the remainder of his career. Wade excelled in a reduced role for a semi-rebuilding Miami team in his final season, averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game. D-Wade also shot 33% from 3-point range, considerably higher than his career 29.3% from downtown. His 43.3 field goal percentage wasn't exactly terrible either. Wade took good care of his body in his final season and continued to produce good numbers. And nobody can forget that epic buzzer beater against the defending champion Golden State Warriors. How are they doing this year, by the way? I'm sure they're doing fine. If Wade were to return, he could take a bench role on the Miami team that added All-Star guard Jimmy Butler. Wade's leadership would be impressive, and he could mentor Butler to become the new franchise leader. Wade showed that he's still a starting caliber guard. But if he came back, you have to think that the Heat would use him off the bench. Either way, we think Wade would remain a nice impact player in Miami if he decided to unretire. Number 4, Calvin Johnson. We've seen many surprise NFL retirements over the last 2 decades, but few were as shocking as Calvin Johnson's. In his final season for the Lions in 2015, Megatron recorded 88 receptions for 1,214 yards and 9 touchdowns. he was still one of the NFL's elite wide receivers, having formed one of the league's top duos alongside Golden Tate. The 6-time Pro Bowler hung up the cleats at the age of 30, and it came with an interesting twist. Johnson reportedly owed the Lions $3.2 million in signing bonus money that the organization had already given him. He left millions of dollars on the table at the time of his retirement, which made Megatron's retirement all the more surprising. He has voiced his displeasure in having to pay the Lions that money back. He's made it clear that the relationship with the organization will not be repaired unless the team pays him back. You can only hope that the two sides will work it out, and hopefully Johnson will reconsider coming back. A series of injuries is what caused him to hang up the cleats early. We have no doubt that Johnson can still produce. With supreme size and athleticism, Johnson can still be a force in the red zone. As time passes, it's more and more unlikely that Megatron will play football again. But that doesn't take away our belief that he would still be quite the impact player if he decided to come back for more football. Number 3, Adrian Beltre. The 4-time All-Star and 5-time Gold Glove winning third baseman enjoyed an excellent age 39-40 season for the Texas Rangers in 2018. Beltre batted .273 with 15 homers and 65 RBIs and very solid wins above replacement of 2.2. Beltre was still one of baseball's top third basemen during his final season in the majors, and it was easy to believe that he could keep on playing. After all, Beltre was still performing well, and we figured that he would chase that elusive World Series ring. Well, we're convinced Beltre would still perform at a near all-star level if he gave it a second go in the diamond. He's a lock for the Baseball Hall of Fame. He's part of the 3,000 career hits club. Why not go out there and try to win a World Series once and for all? Beltre could always look to join a championship contender mid-season and chase a ring. Not to mention that he was just 23 homers away from 500 for his career. Those are just a couple of things that could motivate Beltre to return to the majors. And don't forget that he batted .300 in 2016 and .312 in 2017. Beltre isn't far removed from posting MVP caliber numbers. Adrian, you can really do it. Come back, keep racking up those personal stats, and try to go out as a champion. You more than deserve the opportunity to do it again. Number 2, Daniel and Henrik Sedin. We're going to make an exception and count the twins as one on this list, because there is no way that one would come back to play if the other opted to stay retired. Many were surprised when Daniel and Henrik announced their plans to retire with only days remaining in the 2017-18 season. Both of them were still performing at high levels and enjoyed solid age 37 seasons. And the Canucks still value them as reliable second-line forwards. Daniel scored 23 goals and 55 points in his final NHL season, while Henrik tallied 50 points in 82 games. Both twins stayed remarkably healthy throughout their careers, which is why they were able to put up 50 to 60 point seasons in their final years. No doubt that if they came back, they would still be reliable secondary scores on the Canucks. And while many of the top superstars in the NHL today rely on their speed and skill sets, the Twins are exceptions. They were able to get by with their hockey IQ and slick playmaking abilities, even if they struggled to backcheck against the younger and faster players. Number 22 and number 33 kept pace against the competition with their incredible puck-moving abilities. But the Twins said they knew it was time to retire because they weren't able to keep up with the younger, faster generation of players. Not only that, but they also wanted the younger Canucks, specifically Bo Horvat and Brock Besser, to take over as new team leaders during a lengthy rebuilding stage. The Twins take pride in working out and staying in supreme shape. So if the Canucks ever gave them a call and asked the Twins to come back, you wonder if Daniel and Henrik would agree to it. What if Vancouver's Stanley Cup window opens again soon? No doubt these guys would be able to come back as productive players and key leaders on a young team. Never say never, I guess. Number 1, Rob Gronkowski. The New England Patriots legend decided to retire after his age 29 season, having led the team to its 3rd Super Bowl championship in 5 years. Injuries had worn down Gronk quite a bit in his final NFL season, as he caught just 47 passes for 682 yards and 3 touchdowns. But when the playoffs came around, Gronkowski pulled through with some big catches, especially in the AFC Championship game, and on the Pats' game-winning drive in Super Bowl 53 against the Rams. It's no surprise that Gronkowski endured a down season in 2018. This man had been dealing with knee, back, and arm injuries throughout his career. He broke his left forearm in the 2012 season, suffered an ACL tear in the next year, and then had to miss most of 2016 after suffering a herniated disc. But if you look at his production in 2018, you will see what still appears to be an above-average tight end. Gronk remained a superb run blocker and continued to come up with the big catches, especially in the red zone. There have been talks that Gronkowski could come out of retirement. His agent said he wouldn't be surprised if he came back. I mean, look at how the Patriots were able to bring offensive line coach Dante Scarnecchia out of retirement when they badly needed him. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and Josh McDaniels could certainly pull some strings and convince Gronkowski to come out of retirement, especially after they got knocked out in the first round this year. Ideally, Gronkowski would do this after a year or two of rest and recovery. Coming back to the NFL at age 31 or 32, It's not crazy to believe at all. Gronkowski wasn't elite in his final NFL season, but he was still very good. That's all the Patriots would need if he decided to give it another shot. Gronkowski has emphasized that he's content and relaxed in retirement, and that he kind of fell out of love with football, but you never know. I mean, Brett Favre and Marshawn Lynch did fine coming out of retirement. Why wouldn't Gronk succeed if he came back for a second go-around? Which other athletes do you think could come out of retirement and remain successful? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. I post TikToks all the time, baby. TikTok, go follow me, baby. Make me TikTok famous. We're also all over social media everywhere else. Find TPS on Twitter and Instagram. Find myself on Twitter and Instagram. Do the whole thing. Go follow us. Subscribe, the whole thing. YouTube as well. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes one click right down there. Subscribe to TPS because we post videos every day. Sports content every day. Subscribe. Of course, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jason Biondo. I'll see you next time.
My knee.